Alright, hello everyone. Welcome. Uh, so this is gonna be a 10 subscriber special. Yeah. No, 12 subscribers. Oh my god. This is gonna be the 12 subscribers special. Well, technically 10, because I haven't done. If we get to 20, this is getting a part 2. Alright? What? Dang it. Alright, hold up. Alright, one sec. Alright, now it should be completely constant. You know, it should be constantly locked under that screen, so it won't constantly flash on and off, and you can have something interesting to look at instead of, my screen. So, if you're wondering, like, what am I watching? If you didn't read the title. Which, if you didn't read the title, I'm very glad that you just clicked on any random video I posted. I really am. Well, and if you're new here, welcome, you know? We are 12 strong. Someday we'll become 12,000 strong. 1,200 strong. Someday. If it does happen, I might just post a cool video. I might. No, I'm just kidding. I will. If we ever get 12,000 people, 100, 1.2k people to watch my videos, I'm going to be surprised and very, very happy. So anyway, how am I gonna do this? Because at one point, this was the first video, but then I deleted it because it wasn't catching any likes. It wasn't catching any at all views or anything. And considering there's some of you now, I might as well give this a second shot, but change it up a little bit. This one should be a little bit more likable. It's also gonna make you hate Bakugo and Uraraka as much as I do. If you still like them, that's your personal opinion, but you're not gonna like them after this. Honestly, a lot of my favorite YouTubers that make what ifs has to do it. Does it? I need to turn this off. If you're living with diabetes and the time it takes to manage your diabetes, how would you like to get your time back? Turn this off because I don't want to listen about diabetes. Diabetes is bad, and yet I eat what I please. Just 10 minutes, just a few seconds before I started this, I ate like 3 slices of stuffed crust pepperoni pizza, which is always delicious. Anyway, let me just go put this table into the kitchen. Just making as little noise as I really can, which is going to end up in me knocking something over that is glass and shattering into a million pieces, and me getting in trouble. Most likely. Unless I just somehow magically pull this off. Okay. Trying to be as quiet as I can. And I don't care. It sucks. Ow! My poor hand. Oh, my poor baby hand. I'm just kidding. So, how am I gonna do this? Well, if you haven't seen Iron Blooded Orphans, or you don't know who Barbatos is, go watch Iron Blooded Orphans. You'll understand. Because I'm adding 2 things from that anime into this. One is, of course, Barbatos. Well, technically, sorry. One is, of course, is Barbatos. The second is the Alea Vignana system, which is only going to be present in Barbatos. No other mech. Other mechs, other Gundams are just gonna have something similar to the Zero system. If you don't know what the Zero system is, I have no idea what it is either, gonna be honest with you. All I know is it allows the pilot to bridge the gap between himself and the computer to where there's no filter in between. It's kind of like the Vignana system in that way, but you can turn it on and leave it on and you won't get permanent brain damage. But you might go insane, because it tells you if you're in the middle of a fight and you turn it on, you're like, alright, I need to figure out a way to win. If there's no way to win, it will show you every possible way you are going to die. It's just, like I said, pretty scary. Although, be cool to have. That was loud. Turn that down, please. Turn that on. There we go. Alright, so... Ow! Stupid couch. Hit me right in the leg. I need to move this. Alright. So, how I'm gonna do this is... You know, Izuku is born on Earth. Don't you freaking dare, you stupid little blue shark. Izuku is born on Mars. You know, because Mars, that's where the Super Barbatos is located. And I'm gonna say, before y'all freak out, like, this is so bullcrap. How did he get all this stuff? And how did he die? Hold on. Before you go crazy, if you've seen Iron Blooded Orphans, you know what I'm talking about when I say Mikazuki died. Yeah, major spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. His mech was completely destroyed and buried under multiple layers of red sand. You know, Mars dirt. What I'm going to change, still, unfortunately, Mikazuki did die, but he had a kid. Okay? Like in the anime. He has a kid, apparently. I don't know how that works. He was completely paralyzed. Except for when he's hooked up to Barbatos. So did they just do it in Barbatos' cockpit? If so, props to Mikazuki for being able to stand and stay in there. The smell, unless they do clean it out. I don't know. Okay, so what else? Okay, I'm gonna change up Barbatos. So the Barbatos you saw in the picture, that's what he's actually gonna look like. Yeah, he's gonna. That's what Barbatos looks like. Except that's him in standard mode. See, he's gonna have 5 systems. One, the Vignana, you know, the thing from Iron Blood Orphans. Remember, all of these are gonna have their own personality. Except for one, which already has its own personality, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. One, the Vignana system with its own personality. I'll give it its own personality eventually. 2, the NDT, New Type Destroyer, Gundam Unicorn. You know, if you want to know what that is, basically, new types are psychics in the Gundam universe. They're like psychics who can link to other psychics and have psychic battles. It's a whole bunch of bullcrap. I still don't understand. The New Type Destroyer system was made to destroy new types, which the psychic people are. But it can only be piloted by a new type, so that's kind of counterintuitive, but, you know, it's whatever. The Zero system, the only reason I'm giving him the NDT is because if you have the NDT on a mech, you know, it's pretty OP. I swear to God, if this thing hasn't been recording audio, anyway, me and my sister currently have an argument. Hold on, guys, hold on. Anyway, I'm gonna be adding my own OC into this, so she's gonna be the same from the Predator would have, except for she's gonna be like a Neko, I guess. Yeah, yeah. You know, cat girls are adorable. Can't tell me otherwise. Look up pictures of Nekos. They're cute. They're just. I want to pet one. They're adorable. You cannot. They're like cats, but human. And they have this temperament of cats. And like, if you scratch them behind their ears, you know, they do the same thing that cats do. It's adorable. Anyway, even though I'm allergic to cats, I love them. They're adorable. If I wasn't allergic, I'd have as many as I humanly could. That's besides the point. Anyway, her quirk is gonna be doppelganger. Basically what it's gonna do is, if she can make up to 5 copies of herself, but if she does that, she can't make herself invisible. If she makes 2, she can turn herself invisible. And I'm gonna say she has a Gundam. That's a very long-range one. And it kind of looks like... Hold on, I'm gonna look up a picture. Alright, so I couldn't find it, which is very unfortunate. So... How am I gonna do this? Okay, so basically her mech has cat ears, like metal cat ears. Pink, you know, her hair is pink, so her mech has cat ears, but they're pink. And 2 pink pigtails and cat tail, you know, all pink. And you know, to put it, it's cool looking. It's kind of cute looking at the same time. It's like, oh, it's a kitty, but it's a giant mech cat capable of mass annihilation. But still, it's a kitty. Oh man, I'm messed up in the head. Anyway, so I'm gonna say that I don't know what the gender of Mikizuki's kid is. It could be a boy, it could be a girl. I don't know. If it is a girl, it's Inko. If it's a boy, then it's Sashi. I'm gonna make it a girl though. If it's a boy, oops, my bad. I'll change it in the next part. Probably won't. Huh, YOLO. But I'm sorry, that was so dead. It's not even funny. I'll see myself out after I make this video and get to 500. I'm just kidding. Oh man. Oh. Yo. I really wish one guy would watch my videos in particular. Y'all are y'all are absolute mad lads. I'm already gotten to 12. I'm so excited. You know, I'm making a video. I'm giving it my all at the moment, but I can't be too loud because my parents are sleeping. Why did I throw that in there? I feel like an idiot. I am an idiot. Anyway, so he got left on Mars. Okay. And I'm gonna say UA is a college, and he's like 10, so that's like 8 years of training. I'm also gonna add another thing where he has 2 quirks. 2. One is Technopath, which is gonna increase his compatibility with every Barbatos system. He's actually gonna be the one to give them their own personalities and such. But they're all gonna work together no matter what. Even if they get into a fight, they're gonna protect Izuku because, you know, they think of him like a little brother. Or like their sons. I don't know. What next? What next? Okay. So, once Izuku was done, you know, doing his thingo, he was kidnapped, not really kidnapped, you know, the little scarabs made by the angels of death for mind-blooded orphans, you know, those giant bird-looking things? Yeah. A few of those find him and bring him to Barbatos, which... What? Anyway, so Izuku, after being done with getting the Olea Vignana implants, yes, he does get the Olea Vignana implants, even if he doesn't really need them, but it makes it a lot easier to pilot Barbatos, to where it's just like an extension of his own body. Like, if he wants to move his right hand, Barbatos' right hand moves. I'm gonna say, like, his hands are latched onto, like, the chair, and he's still gonna be awake. He's gonna have his own reaction timing and everything. It's just gonna be boosted because he's plugged into Barbatos, to where he doesn't have to do, like, he doesn't have to push any buttons, he doesn't have to, you know, do the stuff that normal pilots have to do. He just kind of has to chill. Kind of like how the NDT system works. You know, it turns the pilot. Basically, he's a secondary computer for the Gundam to work through, but, you know, he is the main computer because his brain. Okay, if I didn't say it, he's gonna have a regen quirk, which allows him to regenerate in a hundredth of the time it takes a normal human to regenerate. So if he breaks his arm, it's gonna take him, like, I don't know, like an hour to regenerate. He can regenerate from almost any injury, except if the more major the injury, the longer it takes to heal. Like, if he gets punched through the gut, it's gonna take him like 10 minutes. No, wait, what? No. If he gets punched in the gut, it's probably gonna take him like a whole day to fully regenerate and be like, I'm alive. If he gets his head blown off, you know, it'll regenerate slowly. And the more, I'm gonna make this super okay, the more times he takes damage, like say he breaks his knuckles from punching someone in the face, or the Aleviana system puts too much of a strain on his brain, and he has like a brain problem or something, the more damage he takes, the faster his regeneration gets. Now, what I mean by the faster his regeneration gets is exactly that. If, let's say, when he first awakened, it took him a whole day to regenerate to fix a broken arm. 15 years from then, or 10 years from then, if he broke his arm, it would take half the time. So the more damage he experiences, the stronger his regeneration gets. And the smarter he is, the more powerful his technopath is, which allows him to gather more information to make him smarter. So, yeah, he's kind of broken. So I'm going to say after getting the Olea Vignana implants, you know, he's able to pilot Barbatos with zero. You know, once he gets plugged in, his nose just kind of bleeds because of the neural strain. Remember, he's 10, so this is like his first time getting into Barbatos. He's like, holy crap, that felt cool. That felt weird. You know, he does the Mikazuki thing where he licks his blood off his face. You know, like, and then he makes Barbatos stand up. You know, he starts walking around with Barbatos. And then when he sits Barbatos back down, his brain's already churning at 100 miles a second. Nezu couldn't even keep up with how fast he was doing the math. If he and Nezu ever met, he's definitely smarter than Nezu. So, you know, he starts jotting, no. He has a watch that allows him to open up a panel that allows him to create programs and do notes and stuff, I guess, because why not? Plot convenience. And then he finds Barbatos' central AI core, plugs it, like his central control, plugs it in, his watch in, and he starts doing so calculations so fast no one can keep up. And he's like, all right, if this does this, this does that, you know, he's typing real quick, like, and then you know, he's already programmed all of the AI cores. He starts ordering the scarabs, which do work for Barbatos, to start, you know, he's already made blueprints for the new Barbatos. I'm going to say that the Barbatos that you know is you know, it's still broken, it's missing an arm. But if the arm is there, you know, it's getting attached, and Izuku's like, no, 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 no. He creates a few blueprints, gives them to the drones through like a AI, like through Bluetooth or whatever. It's like, alright, I need you to enhance it with everything here. Because the faster, not only the smarter he is, the more powerful his quirk, the faster his brain churns, the faster his quirk is. I'm talking about Technopath. And the more grave the wound, the faster regeneration works. Basically, if he has taken a lot of injuries, which I'm going to say his regen quirk has already fixed his brain, because that would have killed him if it didn't. It would have already been started working the moment he was plugged in. It regenerates the more time, the more he takes damage, the faster it becomes, and the more dangerous the injury, the faster it, you know, the quicker it heals. The stronger the healing quirk gets, and the faster it heals. The smarter he is, the stronger the technopath, and the faster he thinks, the faster the technopath works. Basically, is how I'm gonna do it. So, time skip. 18 years late. 8 years later. You know, Izuku's 18. He's ripped. You know, like imagine canon Izuku, just make him more buff. Make him as ripped as him, but a little more. This man's got like an 8-pack. You know, but he's still slim. You know, he looks like he doesn't look like much, but you know he could probably take All Might with his suit. And you heard me. I said suit. All Might doesn't have a mech. So what do you mean by suit? Well, there's a little thing in Barbatos' left shoulder. What this thing is, it's a storage container containing suit X49, or 49 for short. What this is, it's basically a mini Barbatos. It's to where he can just plug himself, you know, there's like a cord that plugs into the scarab on Izuku's back that attached itself to the Alea Vignana implants, right? So once he's plugged into it, you know, he's able to move it. Even if he's not plugged in, he's able to move it kind of slowly to where it's like normal human speed, but a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, you know, a little more durable. But the moment he plugs it in, you know, it is done. You know, he can dodge All Might going at 100% in his prime, and a single swing of like a sword that he has on his back can level a mountainside. It can level a mountain, actually. If he were to swing it near the Appalachian Mountains, he'd probably level the whole area. Because why not, you know? Why not make him broken? And that's without Barbatos. And the thing about this one is, it's like the armor itself is black instead of, you know, the Barbatos color scheme. It's black, green, and gold. No, silver. To make it, you know, he calls it stealth suit. He calls it the stealth suit. He can put it on in the cockpit of Barbatos, or he can make Barbatos, you know, take off his shoulder blade and hold it out to where Izuku can just hop into the container and then come out wearing the armor. Because why not? And he makes Barbatos reattach it. Because Barbatos can move and think on his own because of the personality matrix he put in his head. Which I'm going to say the only one that can really influence how Barbatos moves is Barbatos. The Barbatos AI that I created. So, basically, you can already tell who the crush is. The ship is. You know, Deku x Yuki. Yeah. The nya. Oh, that'd be cool. Oh well. So, I'm gonna say that UA is also a Gundam training school because there's the Angels of Death from Iron Blooded Orphans, and the Kaiju. Like, there's Kaijus, I guess. I don't know. that can only be fought with mobile suits and Gundams. Like a triple S class kaiju is as strong as one normal Gundam. Now, you heard me right, normal Gundam. What's the difference between a mobile suit and a Gundam? Well, the thing is, the Gundam frame itself is just the frame, no upgrades, no nothing, no armor, no weapons, no nothing. I'm gonna make it to where, one mobile suit frame with literally nothing, just no Leia Vignana, none of that, could probably take like 50 mobile suits at once. And with the armor on, it could probably take like 100. Barbatos, on the other hand, you just wait. You just wait. And there's also an in-between class between Gundam mobile suits and Gundams, because there is a difference. The in-between class, I'm going to call it a two-seat. Basically, it requires two pilots, like Darling and the Frantics. But instead of, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Instead of, them both being in one cockpit, there's one in the chest cavity and one in the back for each pilot. Or I can do it Darling and the Frantics style. Just make the suits bigger. I could do it like that. And, basically Class 1A is the only, the hero courses are the only one allowed to have two seats. A two-seater. So, I'm gonna say Bakugo was still bullying Deku when he was 10 before he left. And Uraraka was with Bakugo. Was with Deku, but then, cheated on him with Bakugo. And Midoriya Deku found out. It's like, we're through. They both started bullying him. And after he found that out, a switch flicked in his head. Like, it went straight to, oh, so cool, yeah, All Might, da-da-da-da, to, listen, if you don't move, I'm gonna punch your face in. It went from Kirizuku to, Mikazuki. Because, it's like a mix of the two, kinda. Like, he'll act like a normal Izuku around certain people, but when it comes to, like, Bakugo and, Uraraka, and, like, everyone who bullied him, he's like, out of my way, peasants. Oh, man, I hate myself for doing this. I really do. Anyway. Okay. So, Yuki, Aizawa is like, alright, class, you're gonna be fighting Yuki, all of you against her. And she's like, huh? Why do I have to fight them all? That's not fair. I'm only one pilot. There's like 20 of them. And as I was like, yeah, that makes 10 targets and you're a sniper. But I won't be able to snipe them all. Some of them have more maneuverability. He's like, don't worry, you're getting a help. And everyone's like, from who? Izuku comes crashing down. Not in Barbatos, but in the stealth suit. Once he crashes down, he stands up, the stealth suit comes off, he walks out, and he says, me. Uraraka is like, ooh, who this man's? Because, she's, she's a ro. She's a fro, if you know what I mean. You get it. I hate Uraraka, okay? Look, she's just in it for money. Even if it's for her family. Just get a job that pays good. Like, don't be a hero unless you want to be a hero. It's just me, though. That's just me. Y'all could completely disagree, and I could be railed and lose all my subscribers. This makes me nervous now. I shouldn't have done that, but I'm still doing it. She's like, he probably got some good monies. She got them dollar signs in her house. He's like, she starts walking to him, and she's like, hey, who are you? And he says, get out of my way, peasant. And she's like, what? Bakugo runs up and he's like, hey, don't talk to my girl. Like, he tries to blow him up. Izuku dodges and punches him in the face. This is without his armor. He dodges the explosion and hits the back of his hand into Bakugo's face, which breaks Bakugo's nose. He's like, what the heck? Why did you hit me? You stupid nerd! you extra. You know, he's like, listen, Katsuki, I haven't seen you in 8 years, and you haven't changed. I haven't seen you in 8 years, but it seems like I didn't miss much. He's like, wait, how do you know my name? He's like, oh, let me give you a hint. You know, he ruffles his hair, because I'm gonna say, like, he had it in different, like, Mikazuki style. He ruffles his hair and he's like, hi, what's going on? You know, he changes his voice to old Midori, and everyone's like, who is that? You know, Bakugo and Uraraka are like, you know, Uraraka's like, Izuku? And Bakugo's like, Deku? And, you know, he makes his hair go back to normal, and he's like, yeah, no crap, Sherlock. Anyway, you'll all be fighting us too. And he's like, and they're like, wait, where's your Gundam? Where's your partner? I don't use it. Izuku's like, I don't use a two-seater. I have a Gundam. And they're like, well, where is it? Don't tell me that tiny little thing's your Gundam. And he's like, how dare you? How dare you insult my child? You know, because now, you know, little Barbatos is starting to cry a little bit because, you know, little Barbatos got his own emotion matrix. And he's like, Dad, they made fun of me. You know, he does that. You know, the mini Barbatos is like that because technically Izuku is his dad, so that makes little Barbatos' grandfather, I guess. The stealth suit has its own emotion matrix, so that makes it to where, Izuku... Technically, Izuku is, the stealth suit's father. That makes Barbatos, it's the stealth suit's grandfather. I'm just gonna make that canon. I'm gonna make it that way, so why not? And Izuku, you know, he grabs it and is like, shh, it's okay, it's okay. You know, giving it a hug, trying to calm it down. He's like, look what you did! Look what you did! You know, everyone's like, they're confused, but, you know, Kirishima's like, that was so unmanly of y'all. Because Kirishima wasn't the one who didn't say it, and so did Mina didn't say it either. And she's like, yeah, that wasn't nice. And he's like, no, this isn't my Gundam, it's my stealth suit. I use him when I don't want to. I use him when I want to have fun, because I can't. I use him because he's fun to use, and he's very nice. And the stealth suit's like, really? And Izuku's like, yeah. You're the only one of you. And he's like, thanks. You know, he said, thanks, creator. And everyone's like, wait, you made that? And he's like, duh. I built it with my own 2 hands. You know, he gets in and he's like, alright, time to crack some skulls. You, link your comms with me and get in your Gundam. And she's like, oh, okay. You know, he mutes so no one else can hear him besides her. She does the same, and he's like, alright, I'm gonna need you to create 3 clones of yourself and go invisible, because I know that's your quirk. And she's like, because I'm gonna say they can use their quirks in their Gundams. 2-seaters can use both quirks on the Gundams. And she's like, alright, so where do I go? Make them all go into 3 different directions and follow one. Go to a totally different direction from the 3. And she's like, how am I gonna do that? Send the 3 in a 45, 90, and like 120 degree angles. Basically, acute, right angle and obtuse angle. And then go straight left. No, right. I'll hold them here. I'll take one out. I'll be able to take one out. But that's all I'm going to be able to do, because then they'll see how fast my stealth suit is. And they probably won't be able to predict my movements, but I'd rather not risk damaging him. And she's like, got it. So, yeah, that's their whole plan. They're gonna make it seem like she's going in 3 different, make it look like she's going in one direction, when actually, in all actuality, she's going in a totally different direction. Which is very simple, but, you know, they can't tell the difference. It's impossible to tell the difference between her and her clones. Unless you hit one, because, they're pretty much shadow clones in that way, in that regard. So, Izuku stands right next to her, and then, 100 meters away. She does the multi-shadow clone jutsu invisibility thing and releases a whole bunch of gas that creates 3 clones, and they run, or she goes into a totally different direction, kind of flying a little bit, because I'm going to make it to where her mech has, Gran Torino's jet boosters, but it doesn't require fire, so it's almost impossible for anyone to see. Because, it would help. She's already at her sniping position, and I was like, alright, his Gundam will be arriving in 10 minutes. You have until then to defeat him. You have until then to take out the other Gundam pilot. If you manage to do that, I'll call it a victory for you guys. And Izuku's like, if you can't, then you're gonna have to deal with me. He starts laughing maniacally. And he's like, oh man, I can't wait to tear you all I can't wait to tear you all to shreds. Everyone's like, isn't this supposed to be training? And Izuku's like, yeah. Training has to be as relevant as possible, isn't that right, Eraser? He says while cracking his knuckles with malicious intent. So, anyway. Izuku, he uncrosses his arms, and he gets into he draws the blade, spins it around, and then he waves it, which creates a massive dust cloud, which completely cloaks him. And I'm gonna say he activates a cloak, and then he just disappears. He breaks the sound barrier, which causes all the dust to vanish, and they're like, where did he go? They hear a boom. No, they hear a boom. And then they're like, did he break the sound barrier? What the hell? And he's like, and then for some reason, one of the mechs starts glitching out. I'm gonna say it's the Denki and Jiro mech. It starts glitching out bad. And it grabs the Bakugo and Uraraka mech, and it supercharged, it releases an intense amount of electricity. And it's not Denki's electricity. It's not yellow. It's blue. So everyone's like, Denki, what are you doing? Both mechs knocked out. He's like, huh, I forgot. I didn't know he had that kind of power. I didn't know his mech was super conductive. I just hoped that would work. I just picked the one that looked the most conductive and hoped it would work. He says that out loud, which everyone hears, and they're like, what? He punches the head off of the Denki robot, which sends it flying, flopping in front of the Todoroki and Momo one. And they're like, what? He climbs out. He's covered in oil. He looking scary, son. He looking scary. He looking extra scary. Oops. Anyway, he looking mighty terrifying. And he's like, well, bye. He breaks the sound barrier again. He's gone. After chopping the legs off the Bakugo mech just to make sure it can't move anymore. But Bakugo, Uraraka, Jiro, and Kaminari are already all knocked out. I'm gonna say that his electricity was so strong it bypassed the insulation of the Denki mech. Because, it has to have insulation. He's already broken the sound barrier, so he's gone. He runs over to the real sniper. He runs to where Yuki actually is, and he's like, hey, Yuki. And Yuki jumps. She's like, God, don't scare me like that. She's out of her mech, and she has a pouty face. And he's like, sorry. Won't happen again. You know, he's out of his mobile. You know, he's out of his striker. You know what? The stealth suit. He's out of the stealth suit. And she's like, all right. So how many were you able to take out before you could leave? He says, 2 actually. Apparently, I grabbed one with the high conductibility rate. She's like, you grabbed Genki's? And he's like, oh, that's what that kid's name is. Fascinating. Alright, so he has a lightning-based quirk. You know, he starts taking notes. She's like, so why are you taking notes? Oh, just in case one of them betrays us, so I can take them out with relative ease. And she's like, Jesus, what happened to you? You know, she tries to touch him, and he's like, don't want to talk about it. There's nothing to worry about anyway. You know, he gives off like a sunshine smile, and she's like, my heart, it's been touched. You know, she actually like holds where her heart is, and he's like, you okay? Because, you know, for some reason he feels kind of connected to her. For some reason, she's like, yeah, I'm fine. You know. So, anyway, the remaining Gundams are like, alright, we need to stick together so we don't completely die. So, you know, they huddle up, like, back to back, and they start moving in one of the directions that they think Yuki's Gundam is. You know, because they don't know where Izuku is, so they're slow. They're not moving super slow, but they're moving kind of fast. And I'm gonna say the whole area is enclosed by a giant man-made mountain range, because why not, you know? So he's like, perfect, they took the bait. Alright, when I say so, get ready to pop some skulls. You know, they get over there and they're like, what? She's not here? And then they realize the 3 Ahab waves that were originally emitting from those 3 spots randomly disappeared. And it was one completely opposite to where they were. And they're like, what? Yeah, when I said there was no difference, I mean there was no difference, because she made her own Ahab wave reactors kind of the same, to where every single Ahab wave, you know, net thing that tracks where the Ahab waves are, automatically, you know, only sensed those 3, and it didn't pick up hers because hers was off. And she's like, crap, they found us out. He's like, alright, turn on your mech, start popping heads. Take the one with the ice quirk. And she's like, okay, so Todoroki? And so, Shoto? And he's like, yeah, take a shot. You know, she takes it, it hits him right in the head, which staggers him, so everyone's like, crap, where are, crap, they gave away their location, but they're so far away. And Ida's like, alright, I'll get over there as soon as I can. You know, and I'm gonna say Hagakure is with Ida, because why not? You know, so they can go invisible and move like super fast, like sonic speed. And, you know, that happens, and he's like, huh, so they can cloak as well. Well, they can't escape infrared, you know. And by this time, there's like solid 10 seconds before Barbatos drops. Azawa starts counting down 9, and everyone's like, wait, what? You know, Ida stops. She's like, huh? 8. No, Izuku's counting. Azawa yells, Ida, move! Because it was gonna land right on Ida. So he's like, oh crap! You know, he moves. And by the time he does this, Izuku's already said 1. So Barbatos, I'm gonna say he was really close, like 10 feet away. You know, he has to dash back really, really quick, or he's gonna get hit. So, you know, Barbatos lands, which knocks Ida off balance, knocking him down. You know, making the back of the head hit the armor, which causes a visual glitch to where they can't see anything. So, I'm gonna say they fix it somehow. You know, they get back up and they're like, what happened? You know, they see Barbatos is getting up. You know, they're like, are we screwed? And Izuku's like, I don't know. Can you break Mach 20 in half a second? And Ida's like, no. Well, and then Izuku's like, well, you're screwed. And he just, and a really loud, like a really, really loud. Boom. So then, I thought I heard something and it made me super nervous. Anyway, Izuku, he goes and I would say, he takes out Ida with a single strike. He ends up behind Ida. I'm gonna say the strike cut down the middle, but where the arms were, so it didn't kill them. It just split them in half, which knocked them both out because of the neural pain, the neural strain. So Izuku's like, alright, that's one down. Let's see. 7 to go. And they're like, crap! They're so far away! And Todoroki's mech isn't fully repaired yet. So they're like, what do we do? Do we form a defensive position? And they're like, they agree on a defensive position, but they put, Kirishima in the front because he has his hardening quirk, which expands to his mech, making his mech, armor a lot stronger. And Izuku's like, alright, let's do this. And I'm gonna add another thing. You know the tail that Barbatos Lupus Rex has? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot wider in this. A little bit wider. To where, and then the tail comes out, it comes over his shoulder, and he's like, he holds out his finger, like a gun finger, and is like, bang. The tail opens up, it fires an ion blast. Like the Angels do in Iron Blood Orphans, and they're like, Kirishima takes the brunt of the hit. He's already an unbreakable in the mech, so it causes the Gundam to be unbreakable. This hurts Kirishima. He's falling down. He's like, alright, cooldown initiated. The thing closes up, and it retracts back into the back. It reconfigures itself onto the back, and then it closes itself in armor. So no one knows it's there. So they're like, did he just shoot a laser beam out of his finger? Who has Shoji? I think that's his name. The guy with duplo arms? Yeah. Shoji is like, no, I noticed something. That there was a tail on the back of his mech. When he pulled his when he did the gun finger thing, it immediately came out, fired the shot, and then disappeared. It was so fast I could barely keep track. And he's like, alright. He turns on the mic to where everyone can hear. He's like, alright, you have 5 seconds before I'm able to activate overdrive. And everyone's like, overdrive? And then Yuki knows what overdrive is because she's a Gundam pilot, so she had to take extra courses to know what the Alea Vignana system and all of the other systems are. And she's like, wait, you have that system? You have those systems? And he's like, the one and only. So he stretches. Because it's been a while since Barbatos has been able to go all out. Sorry, I had to stretch. I'm walking around my living room while I'm making this. So why not stretch, right? So anyway, Izuku's like, 3, 2, 1. And then something happens. And that's why I'm going to be leaving it off. Ha! 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 If you want a part 2, get this video to like 10 likes. No, 5 likes, in case like some people don't see it. If it gets to 5 likes, I know y'all like it. So I'll make it part 2. Anyway, that's going to be all for this time, guys.